Hello, my name is Jason Williams, and I will be interviewing the famous author, Ayn Rand. She wrote the novel Anthem. Good afternoon, Mrs. Rand. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Oh, it is my pleasure.
Let's begin with some background information. When and where were you born?
I was born in St. Petersburg, Russia, on February 2nd, 1905.
Did growing up in Russia influence your decision to become a writer?
Indeed it did. As you know, Russia is a communist country. I lived through 2 revolutions when I was a teenager. When the government took over my father's business, my family nearly starved to death. However, during my last year of high school, I studied American history, and at that moment, America became my model of a free nation. Then, in 1925, I got permission from the Russian government to travel to the United States to visit relatives. I told them I would return to Russia, but, of course, I never did.
Yes. So, why did you write Anthem?
I wrote Anthem as a warning to those who believe that collectivist societies, like that of Russia in the early 20th century, can never be successful. Losing sight of the individual and his or her needs will lead to the destruction of all progress and all forward movement. The individual can never really be dominated. He or she will always resurface because freedom is part of the human makeup. I believe that no matter how hard society tries, and how many people it kills in the name of collectivism, the individual will still rise up and declare him or herself for his or her own purpose.
For those who don't know, what is a collectivist society?
Write this down, students. A collectivist society is one that believes only the group is real, only the group's beliefs determine truth. The individual is merely a fragmented chunk of the whole, whose thinking is conditioned and controlled by the beliefs of society. Individuals have no right to privacy, no right to lead his own life, or pursue happiness. People exist only as part of a group. Politically, the state is all powerful and the individual must unquestioningly obey the will of society. The political and economic system is the culmination of collectivism.
Great. Thanks for that wonderful explanation. What other themes are prevalent throughout the novel?
Well, the genre is anti-utopian. If utopian means the world as it should be, then anti-utopian means the world as it should not be. It was written in the U.S. in 1937, and the name of the narrator is Equality 7-2521.
Why is the narrator named Equality 7-2521?
Because he lives in a collectivist society, where the individual ceases to exist, and no one has a personal name, because individuals are interchangeable and unimportant. The group is all that matters, so nothing is allowed that might make someone feel special, such as a name.
In the world of Anthem, there are many sins. Please explain transgression of preference in the book.
Sure. Transgression of preference is when a person prefers one person over another, such as with a friendship or romantic partnership. This is prohibited. It is also wrong to disagree, have independent thoughts, or to ask questions.
Interesting. Please continue.
Anthem depicts what happens to a society that implements selflessness. The result is a subhuman society. What makes human beings human is having a self, which means having a mind. A selfless individual is a mindless individual. To practice selflessness, one must abstain from thinking and obey one's masters. One must merge himself into the group and obliterate the individual identity. The result is a society of mindless robots, as found in Anthem.
This sort of existence also leads to hopelessness, depression and conformity, correct?
Right. Although the characters still have their free will, they chose not to use it. They have been brainwashed into thinking that they no longer have free will, or that it is far too dangerous to use it. They believe they are better off living in this collectivist society. But, of course, the main character Equality 7-2521 begins to exercise his free will.
How does the government brainwash them?
By feeding them false information.
Please tell us more about the setting and plot of the novel.
Certainly. The story takes place in the distant future, sometime after the collapse of social order. It is set in an unidentified city, from a tunnel underground, where Equality 7-2521 is hiding. The second half of the book is narrated from a forest, where he has taken refuge from a society that hates him.
Interesting. Well, I would like to thank you for the interview, Mrs. Rand.
Thank you for the opportunity.